Corn will be canopied this week, I'd say. Raining. So far, it started raining about 4 o'clock this morning. It's now 6:45, 6:43, and we're sitting at about 62 hundredths. Talking like we might get a total of 1 3/4 over the next 3 or 4 days. So yeah, pretty excited. Looks good. Wheat was starting to, it needed a rain to finish filling, so this ought to do that and keep the corn going. Good deal. Well, here's the flatbed. Headache rack needs a little work, some welding up in here. It's not fastened on, he's got it strapped on. Had some U-bolts made yesterday, especially for it. So we got to get the bed fastened on. He's got to decide if he's going to pull the bed back a little or cut the frame off. I think he'll end up cutting the frame off again. But I think he gave $1,500 for the bed. So he's going to take all these stickers off, of course, put new stickers on it. But no, heck of a bed, especially for the money. Gonna work good, I think. Another quick deal. So I went to Northern Tool yesterday, and that's a 90-degree grease fitting. Nothing real important there. Been wanting one of those. So I went to Northern, as I said, to get a new compressor, air compressor, 18 volt. And somehow I got out of the store with a transfer pump. I think the old boy got confused. But anyway, luckily I caught it, didn't open it. I'll run it back up maybe today and get the air compressor. If I thought I'd use that transfer pump, I'd keep it. And I'm pretty sure I would use it, but there's a difference between using it and utilizing it. So anyway, I'll probably take it back here. You can't get in there with an impact or a regular ratchet or nothing. And we can't get them to swing down because there's just not enough room between the cross members here to get the U-bolt in. So anyway, that's the way they're going. I think he left 10 inches. He's talking about putting stacks on it. These steps are kind of cool on it. So anyway, get her bolted on. He's going to do something with the headache rack. I don't know what. Kamikaze Cody. Going to ride each four-wheeler. Okay, we're back. Got it exchanged at Northern Tool. So, pretty excited to have it. We'll see how she works. So as you guys know, we had this out the other day and had this tire patched. Perfect. I have a story about John Deere, but anyway, I went up and got some blocks that go into between the hydraulic levers so that you can't go to neutral with your hydraulic lever. You have to go to float. That's so your hydraulic drives, like on a planter or this cart, they freewheel instead of stopping your pump or your motor dead in its tracks. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. John Deere didn't even know what I was talking about. So back to that. Patch this one, everything great. This tractor's 98% ready to go to the field. After they patch it, I pull it from the yard out there into here. And now the front left one's flat. Never pumped up any tires on this tractor since we picked it up in the field over there, except this one. And now this one's flat. Anyway, I just goofing around. Threw my little Milwaukee on it. And I don't think that's going to work. Been pumping about 2 or 3 minutes and we're still at 3.5 pounds. I had to try it. I'm asking quite a bit of the old new Milwaukee air compressor. Well, I don't know. I went to shut it off, turned it off, turned it back on. It's showing 8 pounds now. So, I don't know. All right, I guess while that's running, I'll tell you a quick little story. Still smells like silicone in here from where I siliconed the interior. It smells kind of like mustard. So anyway, these pieces right here, this just comes in and out. It's just a little rubber piece. You cut it to length. So then when you pull your hydraulics on to run your auger, you can't go back into neutral. You have to go to float to let it freewheel. So you just pull it against stop, turns it on, forward to float. Very common. They run those on a lot of the old tractors. So anyway, this kid told me, oh, they haven't sold one of them in years. He kind of knows what I'm talking about, but no good. This went on through 2 guys for about 30 minutes. Finally, I told him, I said, I've seen them online. So they finally start helping somebody else. I can see they don't want to help me. So go out to my pickup, pull it up online, go back in. I tell him, well, here's part number. He looks up part number. Part number's no good. I said, and I'm not going to call any names other than the first name. I said, Chris, I know you can find this piece for me. It's just how bad you want to look. I know it's Saturday. I know it's a holiday weekend. So I told him, I said, it's a planter control stop, I believe is what it was called. And so anyway, he goes to looking on their planters and guess what? Boom, finds it. So they're $14 a piece. I told him, just get me another one because I'm not going through this again. Oh no, he said, I appreciate it. You taught me something this morning. We've learned something. So anyway, I did finally get my pieces. He was fine in the end, but he sure didn't want to help me to start with. Just another one of them. It's hard to find good help, but we got what we needed. Well, it's Sunday, the day before Memorial Day. Got another 2.1 inches last night, 6.62 yesterday. Got more rain coming. A shot of lightning right there. I don't know if I caught that or not. And talking still a substantial amount of rain. If you can hear that thunder. The next 2 or 3 days. So corn shot up the last couple of days. It'll be canopied very shortly. This will be. Tuesday, May 27th. So we started looking at this little problem. And one problem leads to 3 problems. I reached in there, chain's loose, no big deal. Bob went up to tighten it, and it's out of adjustment. So we get to pull a half link now, I guess. Hope there's a half link in it. Alright, Bob, we rolled it. He found a connector and a half together. So we pulled the half link out. And he's going to tighten her back up. On a Gleaner, you got to tighten them from up there. On the old ones, anyway. I wasn't kidding. When you fix one, you find 3 more. Right there. You can't see that. I'm moving too much. Right there on the top side of that gear. Bearing's out. Bob wiggled that while he was up there. It's out. So to fix this, we've shortened the chain. And now we're going to put a bearing in up there. Better quit looking, I guess. Well, they just got put back in the shed. It's kind of late. And that bearing, we checked mine. It's out too. That'll probably be a video. It's cheap. So I got the 2 set screws. out of the gear here. I should tell you we're working on the Gleaner, and the compressor kicks on. So it's this bearing right here. It's up there. I got the bolts out of that. Cut the silicone on the back side. Bob's still got to cut the silicone on the front. I was able to take my air hammer and go up this way and get wedged between the lock collar and the gear. And I did get the gear knocked loose. So the gear has moved. It was flush. But now we got to get that tube. We got to get that tube slid forward somehow. Kind of forgot the video. We got it out. Put that bearing off, what's left of it. So we ended up taking this chute out, which the chute bolt's right there, but it lips down over into that bin. Well, you got to raise it up to get that chute out. Well, you can't raise it up because of the auger tube. So if you look, right there, that's where that joins. So what we ended up doing was putting an air hammer on that end of that auger tube where it was solid, and then we put a ratchet strap, and pulled as we hit it with the air hammer, and it slid off of that. Hang on. Our bearing flanges were inside. So when we knocked that tube off, it left the auger in the machine. So anyway, knocked the tube off, and then we had to get that gear off, which Bob pulled on the shaft just by hand, and I hit it with an air hammer, and we finally got it off. Well then, of course, the auger slides out, and yeah, auger's a little tired, and we don't know if we're keeping them forever. These gears are a little tired, but they'll run a long time. I don't know. You kind of hate to be back in there, but you kind of hate to spend $3,000 patching an older machine back up. Okay, Bob's is apart, and we're going to run over and get pieces. Generally, they're the same on mine and his. There's a serial number break there, but it's just a very few things that make a difference. So anyway, we're going to run over there, and I got a phone call. A guy wants us to farm his ground, and we are going to go within a half mile of it on the way over there. So we'll have a look at it and see if we want to farm it. So this is the new one they want us to farm. You can see somebody let her grow up and cheap. I think there's about 3 patches, and they're trying to get access in. This is north, from the north side. But you'd have to work at it to get the way you can't get. There's a little bridge there. You can't get that way. So he's working to get access, he said, from the north side. That's the river right there. So, yeah, might grow a bean or a piece of corn. Another patch here. And I believe we've got one on the other side of the trees. I think there's 60 acres tillable, he said. Yeah, we're going to look it over and decide if it's something we're interested in. I think if we can get to it, we'll be interested. Well, we're still walking. We come from up in that way, walk down this side. So this is the same patch it was on the north side. And we think there's one on the other side of the trees there. He put a new lock on the gate so we couldn't drive. There's a little bit of sand, but the dirt doesn't seem too terribly sandy. Wraps back up this way, looks like. Still don't see a crossing on the creek. Yeah, it looks like it goes clear back up in that neck. Alright, we're going to keep looking around. So the ground's a little rough. It looks like they've disced it. But hey, we're used to taking over people's messes. The biggest thing we're seeing is logistics. Because you're not coming this way, period. And the road a mile north, they said they were trying to get an easement and access. But you'd have to cart all this out a mile north. Which could be done. I'm not saying I'm totally against it. The ground looks pretty fair itself. You know, if it was easily accessible, etc., it'd probably been, somebody had already been banging on his door to farm it. But yeah, this is a little sketcy. Not taking anything across this. Alright, well, we'll visit with the guy and see what we come up with. So Bob and I went over and got pieces. I got a rotor collar, 4 flanges, 2 bearings, $1,175 in that box. And we got a little shower coming in the west, so we're gonna put the combine away. You guys seen last clip was where we ended. Just got home with parts, and I'm gonna put the cart and the combine back in the shed. We could have put the combine in Bob's shed. He wanted to work on it, but with all the dust and stuff, I just didn't work on them outside. Got a few sprinkles on the hood. She don't know what to do since she gets to stay inside all the time. Alright, I'll bring you guys back when we go to working on that combine again.